Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Debrief with Danny. Thank you for watching the first episode, and if you haven't, please check it out. It's a very interesting story. But tonight, though, our guest, also another interesting person that I've encountered back in grad school. So she was my classmate. And whenever I see her in class, so when she asks a question, you can always see the curiosity in her facial expression. Sorry, my cat is moving my laptop. You can always see the curiosity in her facial expression. And at the same time, whenever I look at her, I see the heart of a kid. And I only aspire to still retain that even as I grow older. So let us all please welcome Direct Sockie Fernandez. Woo-hoo!
Oldest kid. I'm the oldest kid. Yeah.
Kid at heart
Kid
still.
at that. Yeah. But I was like second to the eldest in that class, by the way.
Second to the eldest.
But I was very curious about everything. Yeah.
So can you tell us your story of why did you take up innovation and business?
Well,
From
because
film.
from film. No, because
Mm-mm.
I've been in the advertising business and the film business for like 40 something years, no?
Mhm.
So that was like my playground and that was some place where I was comfortable in, no? But something happened. My mom passed away and we have a pharma company. My family has always been in the sciences. My dad was a doctor and my mom was a pharmacist and we had a pharma company. And being the eldest in the family, I was kind of like, parang automatic, di ba? Di ba sa Pilipinas?
Yeah.
If you're
Uh,
the eldest, automatic, it's like, okay,
the responsibility.
the responsibility is yours and you're the president. I said, okay, I'm the president. So I've been president of companies in the production world, of which it is a what you call this? It is a business that I'm much more comfortable with, but in pharma, not really. No, so that's the reason why I decided to go to AIM, right? And I decided I was choosing between the regular
MBA.
entrepreneurship or MBA and innovation. And
Mm.
some people say, why don't you just take entrepreneurship or take the regular MBA? But I really love the word innovation.
Mm.
Yeah, because I was thinking, oh, I think that in order to be relevant in the world, I think we should actually constantly be aware of how can you reinvent and innovate. So I said maybe I can use this not just for my business but for myself. So
Right.
so
Pero
that's the reason
super
why.
layo ng film, pharma.
Yeah. Yeah. But maybe business is business. It just so
Business is
happens
business, correct. Mm-mm.
business is business, right? So,
Mm-mm.
regardless of whether you are in pharma, IT, business is business, no?
Correct.
So, I just realized that it's not so. Oh, there's a fly. Oh,
Super lit.
keep it there. Oh my God.
I should just hold him.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I realized that creativity and
Mm-mm.
business are related.
Mm-hmm.
Being an entrepreneur, because it's really being an entrepreneur and being a creative person, they actually complement and they don't clash. Because what is entrepreneurship? It's basically about solving problems,
Yeah.
looking for solutions.
Yeah.
And what being creative, it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
also about finding solutions, solving problems. When you're on the set and you're directing, there's always a problem to be solved. What costume am I going to use? What kind of acting are you going to do? How are you going to frame it? So I realized, hindi naman pala siya iba eh. It's actually related. In order to be a good entrepreneur, you need to be also creative. So,
Yeah. Kasi I think the common denominator is the vision aspect of it.
right.
When you're creative or when you're an artist, you would always have a vision that you would want to put out there.
Right.
Parang I've always seen business as something more on the technical, scientific side of creativity.
Right.
Lang.
Well, the technical side is is finding a solution using
Yeah.
technology, for example.
Yes,
But
correct.
but I realize it's like if you have like for example, if you're being creative or you're shooting something or partial or whatever, you actually have a vision. You have a
Yeah.
so now you
Mm-mm.
have to figure out in the process of creating that material, how are
Mm-mm.
you going to create that vision? Diba? So
Correct.
what are the tools that you need to create that vision? And that's the same thing
Mm-mm.
for business. So that's how I see it, so that there is no conflict.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay?
resources also. How would you pull in like the right team, the right roles, the right dynamic and environment so that your vision would come to life, no?
And it's not just about being good, huh?
Mm,
It's not just about getting the best meaning they're good at what they do. They
yeah.
cannot it's not just being good at what they do, but it's actually when you work together, the chemistry is such that you bring
Yeah.
out stuff, right? I mean,
Correct.
may mga times na ang galing naman pero hirap ka trabaho. I mean, you know, that sort of thing. So
Yes. Mm-mm.
that maybe he works better or she works better with another group, but you know what, for you, you have to work with somebody who actually parang they're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, the chemistry and compatibility rin. You have to check
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Grabe. So, with innovation now, having that finished, are there any exciting projects for you?
Well, actually, how is it? No, the thing about my life now is that I am now more into business.
Okay.
I'm now
Nag-change.
more into business.
Tumapid ka na.
Oo, kasi no, I'm still doing projects. So I'm shooting some stuff right now
Mm.
for a client, no. But my it has now been how about like shift na siya, and now
Mm.
I'm handling business more
Uh-huh.
rather than rather than my advertising and my storytelling is now has taken the back seat. No? And I also teach on the side.
Mm.
I teach production on the side, no. So that's where I am. I mean, instead, how is it? What is exciting for me now is now innovating and scaling up our business. That's what we're doing right
Ah, that's the pharma business?
now. The pharma business, right? That's what is actually taking 80% of my time right now.
Wow.
I find it very exciting because it's new. It's not something which I know I'm an expert in. I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still learning. So there's room for learning, and I'm understanding the process now. Alam ko yung shooting, madali na yan eh. Now, how do I go to the lab and try to understand how they make it and understand the
Yeah.
process and trying to figure out now the strategy, what framework to use. This is
Yes.
I did college, no? I mean,
Yeah. Mm-mm.
and is there first stabilizing what I have and then work on how I can sort of innovate it to make it something um, more relevant for the future. Yeah. So basically, that is where I am more right now.
Right. But I'm sure you'd be okay with it because you've always been such a curious person, Direct. Yeah.
Super.
You've always been such a curious person. Were you also like that when you were a kid? Like, how were you when you were maybe my age?
Ako, I was always, I'm always, laman ako ng workshops. You know, I took up painting, took up acting, I took up cinematography, I took,
Mm.
anything that could, I believe kasi that there is nothing goes to waste.
Mm-hmm.
If I understand how to draw, if I understand how to light, all of this I can use. And
Yeah.
so and it's true, right? Because what I
Correct.
was filmmaking is about life. So
Mm-hmm.
anything I
It is.
was taking I was taking workshops on what you call mindfulness, yung mga things like that.
That's the
Uh,
always
uh,
learning, though.
yoga, yun, lahat yan, di ba? And I realized I can actually use them in what I do. Because, yeah, filmmaking is about life. You're actually telling
Yeah.
stories about life. And I'm right now in business, which
Mm-mm.
is something to do with health and wellness. So it
Yes.
also helps. in a way, may relation.
Tahi
Everything,
naman.
everything
Oo,
is
tahi
connected.
siya.
Dahil
Yeah,
everything
correct,
is
correct.
connected. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you envisioned yourself? Okay, so I'm trying to put myself in your shoes when you were like my age,
Right.
and
Very
when
young.
you were when you when you were there, since yun nga, paano ka ng workshops, ganyan, like you're very explorative. Have you envisioned yourself na magiging leader ka in some time in the future, or were you always just really like following your curiosity about it?
I never actually took the concept of leadership
Mm-hmm.
seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I guess being a producer or a director, you are a leader. You're a leader in some shape or form. But I
Correct.
didn't see it as being a leader. I basically
Okay.
saw it as a job to be done.
Okay.
Not about, oh, I'm gonna head this or I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
head that. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
I have a job. We're shooting this commercial. I'm the director. I'm the leader. Okay. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying I'm the leader, but I need to do this and this and this in order to achieve, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was needed. And the same thing when I'm producing. It's a job to be done. So I never took leadership seriously. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize I was already doing it.
Right. Right.
And
Like it just came naturally.
yeah, and then
Mm-mm.
being the eldest in the family,
Mm-mm.
parang my sisters and my siblings would say, Ate, what do you think? Or, and I was the first one to finish college and the first one who made a
Yeah.
little bit more money. So parang, kumbaga, you were parang the natural leader of sorts. And my mom would say, she's a
Mm-hmm.
bit, parang, okay, what do you think, Socky? Ano tingin mo?
Yeah.
Should we do this? Should we do that? And I'd give my point of view. So
Mm-mm.
I was leading without knowing, in a way.
Right.
No, I wasn't leading. I was sort of making decisions, and
Yeah.
I only got serious about leadership after graduate school because we
Very, very recent.
even recent, which is last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I started thinking about what is a good leader.
Mm-hmm.
What makes how is it, no, if you want to innovate, you want to start something, then you need to be able to influence people. And how do
Right.
you do that, right? How do you achieve it? It was only then that I actually took leadership
Mm-mm.
serious. And yeah, I guess you can be a leader without even knowing that you are
Yes, that's true. So parang kaya nga very interesting topic sa akin yung leadership more than the management side of things.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
not
Kasi
a manager. Yeah, yeah.
kasi it's really I feel like leadership is more human kasi. And I feel like if in the case or in the scenario that it's actually taught to us, then it's a skill that we can like hone even better. And compared to some people are very naturally born like that, and depende rin kasi sa circumstance mo that you had to be like that. Pero I've always been curious, like what if it's actually taught to us, and can it be taught?
I think it can be. It can be. I think it can be taught. I think it can be. I think some people are natural. I mean, some people, without really teaching them,
Mm-mm.
they have the natural gravitas.
Qualities. Mm-mm.
The qualities that people will come to them for opinions,
Right.
stuff like that, right? I think but at the same time, I think it it can be honed, it can
Yes.
be developed, it can be
Mm-mm.
better. And I realized that if I knew what I learned last year,
Uh-huh.
maybe I could have been better at
Mm-hmm.
what was
Okay.
doing. But no complaining, because somehow I was using my wits. I
Yeah.
was intuitive in terms
Mm-mm.
of in the way I was doing things.
Mm-hmm.
If I had the knowledge that I know now, then
Yeah.
I would have been more intentional.
Yeah. About
Maybe.
it. Correct. Correct. Kasi me, I have this, well, the way I look at life is there's this belief na parang, you know how it is in video games?
Okay.
Na parang, let's say it's an adventure game, tapos you have like certain characters.
Right.
And then each character has their own sets of skills, and then let's
Right.
say mababa ka sa ganito pero mataas ka sa ganyan, and then parang leadership
Right.
is like one aspect of it,
Right.
and it's something na as you go through the game, it's
Yeah.
something na na-increase mo yung yung bar.
Yes, 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 diba? You get better as
You
you,
get better at it, yes, as you
and then,
ano,
and then
as you train.
you realize, but you don't realize, but you're just playing the game, and then you realize, "Hey, I'm better at this. Even in
Yeah.
terms of decision making, it's so much easier to make a decision. Parang,
Mhm.
or for example, like you. But I think my advertising background has helped a lot in like it's like when you're in an advertising setup, everything
Mm-mm.
is objective driven.
Right. Mm-mm.
Intention. It's what is
Yeah.
your intention, what is your objective. And I
Yeah.
kind of use that in everything I did. So parang before I start something, what is your objective? Why do
Yeah.
you want to do this? What is your
Yeah.
intention?
Yeah.
From there, I will create the game plan based on
Yes.
my objective and my intention.
Yes.
And but I didn't know that that was what
It's
lead
called.
what's
Mm-mm.
called. Yeah. But you mentioned something kanina which it was interesting, was parang you were not interested in management. Parang you were more interested in leadership.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ako na nag-interview. Why did you
Kasi,
say that?
you want me to expand on it? Kasi I feel like management, there's this, well, I think it's more on the word or the terminology of it, because it feels like if it's management, it's rooted in control, whereas in leadership, it's rooted in influence. Na parang, I'm going this way. If it resonates with you, you can come along. And it's okay also. It's okay. Parang ganon siya. Pero if management, parang I feel very like boxed.
No, yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel very, yun nga, parang it's more of like a control thing
Right.
when you
Right.
manage it. Kasi di ba parang tahi yung you cannot manage what you don't measure, something like that.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
then when it comes to leadership, like I said, it's more like on the human side of things. And
Yeah.
humans are very unpredictable.
Right.
Yes,
Very.
yes,
Very. Very.
unpredictable,
Yeah.
diba? So parang, I just don't like the idea of the force, and yung
Yes.
parang there's no consent into what you wanted to, what you're asked to do. Parang
That's
ganun.
right. That's right. Because I actually noticed that also in class.
Mm.
In our class, di ba?
Mm-mm.
There were leaders and there were managers.
Mm-mm.
So, in terms of their management style, I could see
Right.
that there were people in our class who were managers and they just do this, do
Mm-mm.
that, do that, do this. And then there was others who actually they inspired you.
Uh-huh.
They actually
Yeah.
they took you by the hand and said,
Yeah.
I'll help you. You don't understand this? I'll help you. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But you try to do this.
Mm-mm.
So, parang sabi ko, I'd rather be a leader than a manager because then I will, parang there is more heart, there is more, you build more, you build people up more, and
Yeah.
you actually, and it's more, what is this, diba? Parang it's kinder.
Yes.
It's kinder. And you become better friends rather than those who are managers who just insist that you do these things. No?
Mm-mm. Yes, I agree.
So there, that's why I tell my the people I work with, I'm not your manager, but I don't know if I use the word leader, but somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all in this together. That's sort of
Yeah, and there's that parang when you're the leader kasi, it's more of you role modeling the behavior. So it reinforces you to really show up as like the good version of you. Parang it's not just a one-way thing na meron din siyang to you instead of, am I making?
Yes. And I realized talaga that the most effective leadership talaga is by example.
Yeah.
You can't say do what I say but don't do what I do. you know.
Yes.
So you
Mm-mm.
really have to role model it, right? I
Yes.
mean, this is what I tell my team now all the time, is that I will never ask you to do anything that I will not do myself.
Yeah.
E- Even if it makes making a cup of coffee or cleaning the bathroom, if I actually ask you to do that, it's
Mm-mm.
because it's something that I would do myself, that sort of thing.
Mm-mm.
um yeah, that is the kind of leadership that I kind of gravitate to, and I really hope to be that sort of thing.
That's great. Okay. So, in this now awareness that you have about leadership and all, are there things that you're unlearning?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. By
Mm-hmm.
unlearning, um yeah, you unlearn that you actually unlearn everything that you know, you know uh,
Really?
you
Everything?
realize
Really?
you realize that first you well, at my age, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm 67. Okay, I mean, I'm that age,
You're 67? I thought you were around 50 only.
Oh, no,
Oh
no,
my god.
no, no. That is why that is another advocacy I have. My
Mm-hmm.
advocacy is also you can be anything you want at any age.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can be
Mm-hmm.
anything you want at any age. No,
Mm-hmm.
so okay, go back to that question. No,
Okay.
okay.
Mm-mm.
So parang I realize at my age, you have become so full. It's like a
Right.
vessel, punong
Mm-mm.
punong na. So if you want to put in those things in a vessel, you have to start
Uh-uh.
out. So what
Right.
I instead of taking them out one by one, I throw them all out. I take my vessel, throw it all out, and I put them back one by one.
So you
Kaya,
really like emptied it and then
it's really emptying it, right?
mm,
And then putting in, oh, I like this one. I like the idea of kindness. I like the concept of empathy. I like
right.
the concept of compassion. I like
Mm-mm.
technology. Things like that. The learning
Mm-mm.
technology. So
Mm-mm.
then I put them back in, right? But I
Mm-mm.
really I'm throwing everything away, that sort of
Mm-mm.
it, and rebuilding from there so that you could start fresh. Yeah,
Right.
that that's
A
that's
lot of courage, Saki.
that, that's the way I that's the way I see
Mm-hmm.
it, yeah. And I another thing is parang I really feel that how is it, because I'm in my third act.
Right.
It's your third act, right?
Mm-mm.
And the third act is very important because it's
Mm-hmm.
really how you will be remembered.
Right.
It's legacy. I'm in that
Legacy,
stage
yes.
already, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really legacy. So with that in mind, is how do you make your third act meaningful? Uh, and
Mm.
that's by how is it meaningful at the same time new?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
new, but it's a
Mm-mm.
sometime, but it's something which can be meaningful, something which you parang you're worth the air you breathe, you breathe,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, no? Parang ganon.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm now how is it back? I'm trying to ask myself, what do I want to be remembered for? That's it. No? So
Have you had an answer for that question, or are you still in the
I'm
process
still
of?
in the process. Or maybe I will never know. I just have to live it. I mean, every
Right.
moment, maybe you cannot come up with, I want to be remembered as this, blah, blah, blah. Maybe not.
Mm. Yeah.
Maybe you just have to live every moment the best way you can.
Yeah.
So, when you start making decisions, do I do this? I do it. Do I eat this or do I that? Do I actually
Correct.
spend time with this person or that person?
Correct.
Every decision that you make has a what you call this, a consequence. So
Yeah.
time you just have to try to make that decision every
Mm-mm.
moment, right? And hopefully in the process you will actually be remembered for something which
Yeah. I what you mentioned just reminded me of a growing trend right now.
okay.
So it's called the it's just something that I spotted. Hindi pala siya official. It's akin lang siya.
Okay, okay,
It's something
okay.
that I just see in the market. So it's called the longevity economy. So the longevity economy is more on people in your generation
Right.
instead of fully retiring, they're re-engaging in the workforce, but with more intention, more meaning, more parang mas purposeful. And not only that, but they also that demographic, they also invest a lot in terms of health and wellness, which is very very aligned also with what you
What I'm
mentioned
doing
a while
right
ago. Yes,
now.
what you're doing right now. And it's a growing trend kasi it's not just your generation who's doing it, but even the millennials na i-influence to do that and to invest in longevity when it comes to health
Right.
and when
Right.
it comes to legacy. So it's something na I feel like an opportunity for brands because right now, 'di ba, when it comes to creating new products, ganyan, it's really focused on the youth, which is okay. But then at the same time, when you realistically think about it, the majority of like the wealth
Yeah,
of
so much money. It's true.
world is still in your generation. So
Generation. Right. 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 Right.
yeah, so it's just something that I saw, but I am glad kasi we from my generation naman, we really need guidance from you guys, and we really need parang as much as we try to like explore and do everything by ourselves, parang I can attest that no, I still need guidance from someone who's done it before.
No, but you know what? I just have to no, no, say this. No, para your generation is very intelligent. No, no. You're probably. I don't know if my daughter is like maybe your age or maybe a little bit older. Yeah,
Mm.
highly, highly, highly intelligent. But I realize that we, who is double your age or more, can put value in your life and you can put value in ours, no? So that, I don't know, pero a little cuento lang about
Yeah,
graduate
yeah.
school.
Go ahead.
I had no idea about, like our AI classes or
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
totally not my generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I freaked out with geometry or math 11 and stuff like that. How on earth will I survive?
Yeah.
Using AI, right? Um, and I really, with your help, there were many classmates that we had where I would ask her to like to labas. They would actually teach me. They would teach me.
Yeah.
Well, they share. Oh, I'll share this with you. You do this,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would ask or cha, and then later on, and then they would say, okay, cha. Then and they would just come me and say, Mommy Sockie, okay, can we have a drink? I have a problem with my friend. But or oh sure, that easily I can help you with that. Because parang it was a
Yeah.
thing like that. It's a next exchange, and I realized, oh my goodness, I was able to pass not with flying colors my AI
Yeah.
class with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of help, with young people. But I
Yeah.
think it also provided a little bit of wisdom and
Yeah.
living, which
Yeah.
gave how was it? It gave them tips on how to deal with certain situations which
Yeah.
they were not sure how to handle. So I
Yeah.
so there is value in the
In the
exchange.
exchange, yeah, definitely, because our generation naman, we grew up with very digital. So my generation is like the first digital native, and then so since we grew up with technology, and parang it's a paradox nga na you have this connection but you really don't feel connected,
Yeah.
like human to human, ganon. So now that we're coming of age, parang that's the level of connection that we're yearning for.
Yeah.
At the same time, parang when it comes to like skills, like technical skills, ganyan, any tech, ganyan, parang we can learn it. We can learn
Right.
it. Pero the human skills, the how do I when it's like in this situation, how do I handle this? Parang especially the emotion regulation, ganyan. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's a lot.
Exactly. How come I feel anxiety? How come I feel
Yeah.
when I've gone through that? I've
Mm,
gone through that, and how did I deal with it? No. So
mm-mm.
so there. That's very interesting. The longevity economy is very
Mm,
interesting, but it also needs to be put balance, no? Because I think some
yeah.
people are going so far, like some, like they're trying to live forever and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, but I realize nga na parang age should not stop you from creating new dreams
Mm,
or reinventing yourself or learning
yeah.
new skills. So you
Yeah.
can do that at any age. At any age. Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime. In
Anytime. No,
any time.
actually, I mentioned this before in another interview.
Mm,
It was what's her name? Jane Fonda talked about her third act.
mm.
Have you heard about her third act?
No, not yet.
And she said, basically, she said that there's just one thing that does not grow old. Everything grows old,
Mm.
but there's one thing that doesn't grow old,
Okay,
and
what else?
it's the human spirit.
Oh,
So if you have that, you could be in your 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. But if
correct.
you your human spirit, your spirit young,
Yeah,
then you will not grow old. Or you don't. So
yeah.
that's it. So you
I
basically
agree.
you can be anything that you want to be. That sort of thing.
So with that spirit, since you mentioned that one, I've been reading some materials about our roots as Filipinos and
Okay.
how yung mga ancestors natin ganyan. And parang most of what I saw was yung religion natin before. Like our history started during the Spanish era. Parang that's how it was always
Okay.
written. But
Okay.
pre-colonial times, we have our own system.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like religion, we're close to, if sorry, do not shame me for this if I don't recall it correctly, but I think it's like animism.
Yeah.
But related to spirits siya, more on the forests,
Yeah.
ganyan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parang
Yeah.
very tahi siya to Hinduism. So that's what like I'm exploring right now. I'm exploring the
Okay.
Hinduism practices, ganyan, and even I think Hinduism came from the Indians, like the Sanskrit also, and then the Sanskrit is also how Baybayin was derived. So when we discover like the roots talaga of our beings, we really have like an inner self, like which is your spirit. And now, parang hindi siya masyadong, parang nare-repress siya with
Okay.
how everything is constructed nowadays.
Your spirit is
Mm-mm.
being repressed, right?
Yes, yes, correct. So parang I feel like now with the generation that we have, I mean my generation, I think that's what we're like yearning for. There's this inner thing na has to be expressed out there.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Mm-mm.
So, but now the question is, how do you express the spirit?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
How
Yes.
do you
Yeah.
bring it out, diba?
Correct.
Do you bring it out in your art, in
Correct.
that's the thing, diba?
Correct.
So it's good because at least I think somebody as young as you is going back to spiritualism. It's coming back to
Mm.
your core, to your
Yeah.
yeah,
Parang
right.
it's not just me also. Parang I see my peers also and sometimes in social media rin na parang ine-explore talaga siya right now. Even yung kapwa natin, di ba? Meron
Ay,
kang
yeah, yeah,
loob
yeah.
and then meron kang kapwa, ganyan.
Yes,
So,
yes.
how do we come back to that um,
That feeling,
anchor? Oo.
that feeling of when you say kapwa, it's really it's togetherness. It
Yeah. It's like
is
a shared identity with
right,
with
right,
the
right, right, right,
community, ganyan.
right, right, right,
Mm-mm.
right, right. Well,
Mm-mm.
that's nice. I mean, I'm glad. I think they're the world. I think it's the world is looking for something like that. Uh, Going back to the softer side of life. This the
Yeah.
when they're exploring now the idea of spirit and all that. No, I know that ano nga that our baybayin is coming from Sanskrit. Eh. It's
Mm.
it's it's um inspired by there's something.
Inspired by some characters from.
Right, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. Okay. No, but there was no, there was kanina I was reading, somebody was talking about going back to leadership,
Yeah.
na parang leadership is something about survival.
Mm.
That every how is it ba? In the olden days, there had to be a leader who would protect a tribe
Right.
uh, when they had enemies. So
Yeah.
in a situation like tribes then were like, for example, tribe of 15 people, they
Yeah.
would actually choose a leader, but the leader would get special, well, parang they would get special gifts or special, they had
Offerings.
yes, they had a special treatment.
Mm-mm.
But when an enemy came, the leader was supposed to protect the tribe.
Mm.
So basically, I think also, but so it's interesting. So the leader pala, it's a natural thing that when
Yeah.
you have a group, somebody really has to come out as the leader,
Yeah.
and the objective of the leader was to protect the group. But it's changing now with politics, diba?
Correct.
That everybody
Correct.
wants to have. I'm the president. I'm the senator. I'm the no. When
Mm-mm.
actually anyone can actually lead.
Mm-mm.
And yun. And if I can just share lang also, no, parang my concept of leadership has changed through the
Yes,
years.
please do so. Mm-mm.
In the past, kasi parang leader was she's she's got a title to him or her, di ba? You're a leader. But I realized, and it's about me, me. It's all about me. But I realized later on, as you grow much older, you know what leadership is about. It's not
Mm.
about you anymore. It's about service.
Service.
It's really about service. It's really about making um, things better,
Mm.
not just for yourself, but for others. And,
Mm.
and and that's actually parang tied up to what has happened to me now, from going from advertising and going now into the family business. I
Right.
realized that my objective in the past was when I was leading my own production house, etc. It was about
Mm-mm.
me and doing my job well and being good at what I do. But
Right.
my shift now is, it's no longer about that. It's no long it's about one, keeping the dream of my mom alive, which
Mm.
is starting the business, and which she created it for the well-being of the
The
family.
family.
So that is my first goal, is actually
Mm-hmm.
the well-being of the family. And
Yeah.
in the process of creating well-being for the family, it's well-being for the people who work with us,
Mm-hmm.
so our employees, di ba?
Yes.
And eventually the well-being of people who actually are that we serve. So it has shifted from me,
Yeah.
gone outward. So that is now my goal in leading, and that is
Right.
my objective. So I think that's part of, I guess, growing older and growing older and
Parang
really,
you contracted first before you.
yeah,
you
it's about you. Dati, di ba?
mm-mm.
As a leader, you have to be blah 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 like this, di ba? You make this money. You have to be yung ganon, the ROI, di ba?
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Now it goes beyond ROI. Yes, there has to be good ROI, but the ROI will serve, yeah,
It will come after.
yeah. And
Parang
it will come,
it's
yeah.
an outcome na
It,
of what you're
it,
doing.
of
Yeah.
outcome of what I'm doing, and then I have the beneficiaries
Mm-mm.
are. It's not just me. My
Yeah.
beneficiaries has become larger and bigger. So I
I
think that is the difference.
yeah, I like that.
Also, not losing about what you stand for, di ba? Like, ano,
Correct.
yung sabi mo yung what is your business philosophy?
Yes, the philosophy. Mm-mm.
I never had one, but I realized it's what is the business philosophy, ano ba yung, actually, till I read it in yung
Yeah.
sabi ko, I never thought about my business philosophy, but but really it's about people.
It's
It's
really
really,
people. It's
it's
really
really
people.
it's really people. How do you um do it in such a, how do you actually how is it, how do you operate a business which will make life better for people?
your people, both employees and customers.
Customer, employees, and uh, the business owner, meaning our family, because it's a family business.
Yeah.
How do you make life better for all of them?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
that's I guess that's my philosophy at the moment. I'm still trying to figure it out. That's a hard
It's
question.
okay. It's an ever learning process. Um, but if there would be an advice that you would give to, let's say, a 25-year-old Sockie, or
Ah,
to any 25-year-old out there,
right.
would what would that advice be?
Um, keep learning. Don't stop learning. Just keep curious. Keep learning. Um, don't be afraid to do the stuff that you've always wanted to do. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because mistakes is at 25 you can afford to make mistakes. Yeah. So basically that, just don't be be brave, courage, and keep learning. That's what I'm just
Mhm.
be afraid to soar. Just oh, by the way, I saw you actually skydove. Did you skydive? Did you skydive?
It was paragliding.
Oh my god, congratulations. I am so proud of you. But anyway, so that's because I was talking about courage. And
Yeah.
so that's what I would say. Don't hold back your dreams. Don't hold back on your dreams. Whatever you dream, just
Mm.
do it. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah. Life is short.
So
So you need to be able
it
to do
is
stuff you want to do. Yeah.
courage and keep learning.
Keep learning. Courage, keep learning, and go for your dreams.
Yeah.
Sino ba nagsabi nun, di ba? When you dream, go for the stars, because if you fall, you might just fall on the moon.
On the moon. Yeah, I know. I've heard about that quote. That's really lovely.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
mm-mm.
Ikaw matapang ka naman.
Mukha lang ako matapang. Sorry.
Matapang
pero,
ka.
pero,
I know
pero
you.
within the confines of my room, I break down and I cry. And
Yeah, but you break down and you cry, but you stand up again, and the next day
yeah.
you
Yun
go
lang
for it
naman.
again, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to cry and to make mistakes, make boo-boos, but
Yeah.
just keep going. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Saki, for this very lovely conversation.
Danny, thank you. I mean, it's
Yeah.
how is it? So thank you for um, it's how is it? No, I don't know. I don't feel my age. I don't.
I can see that. I can
I
see
don't
that
feel my
actually. Like
age.
whenever I look at you, I really see you as like a kid, Saki. Like
I guess I never. What you call this? I never left being a child. No, the
yeah,
curiosity of a child, and
yeah,
I guess
it's really
that
nice.
I think that's the only way, because it's a child who's not afraid to make mistakes, to
Yeah,
fall.
and
Um,
always fresh the perspective. Like you always
the-
see things like as it is. There's no like filters, ganyan.
yeah, and I don't have masamang tinapay. Like I don't like some people, kasi they already think about ano yan, that that person has bad
Yeah.
intention. Oh, no. Everything is tabula rasa
What is
until
tabula rasa?
as in nothing. Tabula rasa means it's an empty canvas. So everything is an
Ah,
canvas. So one of my rule of thumbs is I will try anything once. Anything I'll try once, and then I'll decide whether I want to do it again. So at
correct.
least everything, and even people, I don't judge them until you cross it. That
Correct.
sort of thing. So I
Yeah.
keep things clean and fresh, and I
Mm-mm.
try not to have baggage, diba?
Yeah.
So that you can see life in a fresh way, and you won't be afraid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice, Saki. Thank you so much for gracing us with your time tonight.
My pleasure, Danny, and I'll see you around.
Yes.
I'll see you around.
Yes, I will see you
Okay.
around. So,
Okay.
thank you also to our audience who are here tonight. Don't forget to follow or subscribe. and we'll see you on the next one. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.